Hi boys and girls, happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to read Flashy Fantastic Rainforest Frogs. So it's another nonfiction text, and again, it would have been a book I would have read to you at the end of the year for making meaning, but since I can't, I decided just to read it here. So I hope you learned something new about some rainforest frogs. Flashy and fantastic, that's what rainforest frogs are. They aren't just green or brown like ordinary frogs. They can be blue or orange. They may have red stripes or bright pink bellies. Some are smaller than your thumb, and others are as big as kittens. They look different from frogs near your home, but in important ways they are the same. Like all frogs, they have moist skin, big eyes, and long hind legs. The males croak to attract females, which then lay eggs without shells. The tropical rainforest is a very special place. It never freezes. Instead of summer and winter, the rainforest has a wet and a dry season. Even during the dry season, it often rains. The rainforest looks like a tropical garden. Plants grow everywhere, even on other plants. At the top of the rainforest is the canopy, where trees spread their leaves to gather sunlight. Below the canopy is the understory. The understory is made of tree trunks, vines, and bushes. And the forest floor is shaded by the plants above, so often little grows there. So those are the parts of the rainforest. You may know that already. Many frogs live in the canopy and the understory. They may never come down to the ground. Their legs are long and thin for climbing from branch to branch. Their toes have wide, sticky tips that help them cling to the branches and leaves. Other frogs spend their whole lives on the forest floor and never enter the water. They don't need to because the air is so wet. Only a few live in or near ponds or streams. Excuse me. Most rainforest frogs eat insects. There are so many crickets, moths, termites, ants, and other insects in the forest that frogs have plenty to eat. Big frogs may go beyond eating insects. Some large horned frogs have green and brown bodies that blend perfectly with the forest floor. Those frogs don't hunt for food. They just sit and wait. They can eat almost anything that comes their way, even mice or small rats. Excuse me. Pretty crazy, huh? The disguise of the horned frogs also protects them from becoming food for larger animals. Many small frogs protect themselves by hiding too. Some have brown patterns that disguise them on tree trunks or among dead leaves. So you can see they kind of look like leaves. Glass frogs are hard to see on green leaves. Much of their skin has no color at all. It's sometimes hard to see where the glass frog ends and the leaf begins. A few rainforest frogs have a special way to avoid predators. They have big feet with webbing between the toes. Some also have flaps of skin on the sides of their body. To escape, the frog jumps in the air and spreads out its feet. The webbing and flaps act like wings and slow the frog's fall as it glides gently downward. When the frog reaches another tree, it can hang on with just one giant toe pad until it's able to grab it with its foot. That's kind of interesting. Poison dart frogs don't need to hide or escape. They hop fearlessly about on the forest floor during the day. Their bright colors warn predators. Don't touch me. Only a few animals can eat them because their skin contains bitter-tasting chemicals. Some of these chemicals are very poisonous. I love poison dart frogs. Those were at the shed. You might have seen them. Native hunters in Colombia roll the tips of their blowgun darts onto the skin of certain poison dart frogs. The poison will last for about a year. The hunters use it to kill game, but then they must be very careful. The skin of one small frog can contain enough poison to kill more than 100 people. That's why people stay away from them. And animals. At mating time, female frogs recognize the special croaking sound of their own species and follow it to find mates. Many rainforest frogs do not lay their eggs in the water. The eggs of some frogs are protected by foam nests along the water's edge or on overhanging leaves. The foam helps keep the eggs moist and protects them from predators. Often the tadpoles hatch within the foam, and then rain carries them into the water. Tadpoles eat lots of food and grow fast. When a tadpole gets big enough, hind legs begin to grow. Then come the front legs, and the tadpole's tail starts to shrink. As its legs grow, the tadpole changes from an animal that gets oxygen from the water to one that breathes air. Its round mouth grows into a wide frog mouth, and its eyes bulge up. Now it's a tiny frog and can leave the water. Some frogs in the forest don't have tadpoles at all. These frogs live among the dead leaves under the trees. They are hard to see because of their camouflaged colors. They lay their eggs in moist places on the forest floors. The eggs develop directly into little froglets. Some frogs that live high in the trees carry their eggs in pouches on their back. The eggs develop while safely protected on their mother's back. When the little frogs are ready to hatch, the pouch splits open along the center, and the youngsters come out into the world. Poison dart frogs have their own way of reproducing. Each male has its own territory on the forest floor. With his croaking, he warns other males to stay away. If another male challenges him, they wrestle to find out which one's stronger. The wrestling match may last an hour or more. A few species of poison dart frogs don't leave their tadpoles to find food on their own. The female puts each of her tadpoles into a different puddle. Every few days, she goes back to each puddle and feeds her tadpoles. The chemicals in poison dart frog skin are very interesting to scientists. Like other poisons, they can be useful as medicine in small doses. One chemical from a poison dart frog's skin can be more powerful than certain painkillers, like Advil. Others could be used as heart attack medicines. Frogs need homes to live in. When forests are cut down, frogs and other animals have no place to live, so they die out. Frogs that live in a limited area are especially threatened. The blue poison frog, for example, is found only in small parts of the forest in the South American country of Suriname. If its home is destroyed by people harvesting wood, this frog will become extinct. Frogs have been on Earth for more than 150 million years, but today frogs are disappearing quickly from some parts of the planet. No one is sure why. Some fear that the increase in the ultraviolet light reaching Earth may be to blame from the sun. Whatever is killing frogs could be a danger for other forms of life, too. Scientists are working hard to understand what's happening so that the beauty and usefulness of frogs will always be with us. The end, and then there's just the index. So I hope you learned something. This was Flashy, Fantastic Rainforest Frogs. I forgot to say the author, Dorothy Hinshaw Patent, and illustrations by Kendall Jan Jubb. Hope you enjoyed it.